What's up, YouTube? Welcome to the latest episode of The Layup.Line. My name is Dolos, and with December officially here, you know the routine. It's time for a power ranking update. If you're new to the channel, consider subscribing for more videos like this. And if you find yourself enjoying this content at any point in the video, leaving a like would be highly appreciated as it helps me grow the channel. I have a lot to talk about in this one, so keeping the intro brief. If you're new here, you're going to get to see the team profile for all 30 teams, showing where I have them ranked and their current stats and momentum, as well as whatever tier I put them in. I had a few teams move tiers in this video, so pay attention for that. I'm only talking about 3 teams specifically, and if you'd like, you could comment a team that you want me to focus on for the mid-month update. With that out the way, let's get straight into this. Starting with the Sacramento Kings, I picked them because they were the first team to get rid of their coach this year. The firing of Luke Walton was something every fan saw coming, and it should have happened sooner. He clearly wasn't the guy for that team, from their general underperforming to his clashes with key pieces of the roster. Luke was also hired by a different front office, so it's a shame that they didn't make this move in the offseason when there were ample suitable replacements on the market. But whatever, letting Alvin Gentry get like his 5th interim head coaching job is fine for a year. I desperately just want the Kings to retool this team and finally move all their players that don't fit or don't want to be there. Marvin Bagley is finally back in the rotation under head coach Gentry, but can you really see this team deciding to extend Bagley, especially when Holmes is there and he's better? I really want them to trade him to Oklahoma City for Darius Bazley so they can get a wing and move a center. Buddy Hield also could use a new home. Sacramento drafted a guard in back-to-back drafts, both who have looked like actual pieces to move forward with, while Buddy's role in play has been inconsistent during his entire tenure with the Kings. They don't necessarily need to fully blow it up and give up on their play-in dreams either. Richaun Holmes is a good two-way center. Harrison Barnes has been reliable for most, if not all, of his entire time with the Kings. De'Aaron Fox, while not perfect, is an impressive guard with all-star potential. And Davion Mitchell and Tyrese Halliburton are looking like good, productive players. There's a clear direction that the roster needs to take, and the Kings front office actually has the chance to move some of those vets for value, unlike when they let Bogdan Bogdanovic leave for the Hawks in exchange for nothing. Ideally, the best case scenario in my opinion is Sacramento makes the trades to give this team a better look, one that can continue to push the pace and spacing for drives for Fox and spamming Halliburton and Holmes pick and roll. Truthfully, I don't enjoy these Kings teams all that much, and that's basically because the multiple front offices blowing opportunity cost on bad draft picks and weird roster moves. This current team is a result of that. And like I said, that blame hangs on ownership as well as multiple front offices. But this season feels like the point where they need to go in a different direction and commit to building around Fox. I am enjoying the team more now that Walton is out of there, and fingers crossed they can find a great head coaching fit in the offseason. Transitioning into the next team, and it's the Los Angeles Lakers. I wanted to wait till about 20 games in to talk about the Lakers again because the small samples were difficult to judge, but at the recording of this video, 23 games in, it pains me to drop my favorite team from the tier of deep playoff teams to just a playoff squad. Some of you may even feel like that is too kind, but hear me out. I've absolutely lowered my expectations of what this Lakers team can accomplish. I don't believe in the offense, and the defense is inconsistent as the effort and awareness isn't always there for them. We also just haven't seen this team at their best, the injury stuff aside, which I will get back to because it's kind of too large to put to the side, but this roster had glaring issues that everyone noticed in the offseason. The age of the team was also not ideal. There's just a lack of perimeter defensive players. It was not a perfect roster, but for optimists like me that believed in this team, we all felt like we knew what the plan should be. Anthony Davis at the 5, insert shooters as best as you can, and run. If you were a believer in this team, it's because you were a believer in LeBron, AD, and Westbrook. And this is where I need to reinsert the injury stuff. LeBron has missed more than half the season and is now out with COVID. Rotation players like THT, Kendrick Nunn, Wayne Ellington, Trevor Ariza, and Austin Reeves have all missed time or haven't played at all due to injury. which leads me to the coaching aspect of this. I'd like to say I'm a Frank Vogel supporter. He earned a lot of benefit of the doubt from me during the title year, and I challenge the people who want him fired to come up with a good name for a suitable replacement at this point of the season, because otherwise it's going to be David Fizdale, who Vogel has already said is the guy in charge of the offense. All that being said, Vogel has burned just about all that goodwill in 23 games by sticking with bad lineups that just are not working. Avery Bradley has the worst plus-minus on the team, yet he's been a starter. I could do a whole video on the issues with the center rotation because there is some nuance that I don't have time to get into in this video. But long story short, DeAndre Jordan and Dwight Howard haven't been all that great, and at least one of them has to play because AD's not going to play 48 minutes at center. In addition to sticking with Avery Bradley, Frank Vogel has also been obsessed with keeping DeAndre Jordan in the starting lineup despite how much it hurts the offense. And finally, to top it off, the Lakers players need to take some more blame in that they just have not been good enough to start the year. Anthony Davis is having the worst shooting season of his career. Westbrook had a slow start, but he has largely picked it up. I really debated making him the spotlight player because he's been that good. Carmelo Anthony had an extremely hot streak, and that has tailed off. Taylor Horton-Tucker has been a different player after his first 3 games back. I heard the Kamenetsky brothers, the Locked On Lakers podcast, describe the Lakers season the best. They compared it to one of those Russian nesting dolls where the problems are multi-layered. So on one hand, if you could get some good help and get some of the low-hanging fruit improvements to what they're currently doing, I'm not completely out on this team making a push. And if you look at the standings, they aren't that far out from getting to 4th. I haven't been all that inspired that a push is coming, but theoretically I think it can happen for them. The last team I will finish up this video with are the Milwaukee Bucks. The Bucks were dealing with injuries to key starters early in the season, so I didn't really care to talk about them, but as expected, once they got healthy, things picked up. At the recording of this video, they are currently on a 7-game win streak, and their upcoming schedule could see them build on it. Giannis is demanding to be in the MVP and best player in the world discussions, as well as competing for the defensive player of the year. The fact that they have had key guys out means their bench has stepped up and played big minutes, and I feel a lot more confident about their depth than I did in their title season. Pat Connaughton is looking confident in his role. He's knocking down jumpers consistently. Bobby Portis is looking like they might be able to afford trading Brook Lopez at the deadline. They were also gifted Grayson Allen from the Grizzlies, and he has been really good for them. There isn't a timetable on Dante DiVincenzo, but he was one of their best wing players last year, but he's going to be coming back to a reduced role just on how much these other guys have stepped up. The Bucks might not only be my favorite to come out of the East, but maybe they should be my favorite to win it all. Kyrie could get the vaccine and press me on that, but while scripting this, I got the news that Bam Adebayo of the Heat has a right thumb injury, and he will be out for a significant time. First, hoping for a speedy recovery for Bam, and I will probably be following up with Miami in my mid-month update, but the conference has opened up for Milwaukee Bucks back-to-back, and I kinda didn't see that coming. The Western Conference is top-heavy with a mess of injured teams below them, and the scariest part about this Bucks team is that they can get better. Chris Middleton is having a down shooting year from the field, and Drew's numbers have dropped too, but those are the kind of vets that you trust to get it going, and Mike Budenholzer has never been in question for producing a regular season juggernaut. I've spent the past 3 years being a Bucks skeptic. I've loved Giannis and his ability to get better, but the others have never really blown me away. This is probably the best Bucks team that they have had with Giannis. I came into the season with a reasonable degree of doubt about them. No shade, like many teams, they caused some injury breaks on their way to a title. I don't think that in any way invalidates the title, but it definitely puts a magnifying glass on you in the following years. They eased that doubt in the first 20 games, and there is low-hanging fruit for improvement for them. Like I said, simply getting healthy would allow them to reduce some of the minutes that their bench players are getting. I love Jordan Nwora and even Semi Ojeleye. As a fellow Nigerian, I love that this team is full of them, but they don't need to be playing 20 minutes. I don't think that they've perfectly filled the PJ Tucker void if I was forced to nitpick, but I think Giannis is so good that it doesn't matter. I'm not confident that there are any teams or schemes that are really able to stop him. There is no point of attack defender keeping him out of the paint, and he shoots 80% once he's there. You can pray he bails you out by taking a three because he's not great at that, but he's quietly improved his mid-range game, and that's what teams should worry about in the playoffs. I am very high on the Bucks' potential. They will probably go on autopilot as they continue racking up wins. I'm just really hoping we can see a healthy rematch with the Nets in the playoffs. That's all I have in this one for you though. I really appreciate if you made it to the end. You can also find me on a few social media platforms for inside looks at upcoming videos, as well as reactions to live games and transactions. If you enjoyed any part of this video, leave a like because that really helps me get this video in front of other NBA fans and helps grow the channel that way. Comment down below and give me your thoughts about where your favorite team was ranked. Thank you for watching and enjoy the rest of your day.